The clip that I'm about to show you was taken from a video that was released from Royal Live Prince Charles Joins World Leaders at COP26. This was a conference about global climate change, and it shows the effects of what's been taking place around the world. I want to play this short clip for you because the very things that you are seeing in this clip are the exact same things that Jesus said you would witness just prior to his second coming. Watch this.
Commuter chaos this morning and delays for the day as high levels of water brought services to a standstill. The Met Office says we should be braced for more of this. Forget summer, they say. It's going to...
But the evidence in the record now is becoming clearer and clearer.
No longer assume the temperature of the world is stable.
Более 70 лет, но все еще загрязненность воздуха остается основной.
If you get average American, that carbon footprint is about 16 tons of carbon emissions.
What about COP26? What is COP?
The potential threats to the surrounding natural environment. We can see the ocean becoming the UN is calling the world's first climate change famine.
The frequency of Earth. Scientists are correct in their fears.
A sure sign of climate change.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
No, that's because the more we take, the less there is for future generations.
On our warming planet, there are reasons for hope.
We need to have the courage to try.
A lot more jobs created in the green economy.
Climate change is not the problem. Climate change is the expression of the problem.
Renewable energy technologies to fundamentally transform the energy system are at our disposal.
So how do we begin the process of reversing global warming?
And this kind of
I'm really glad people are starting to buy electric cars and
Launched the largest tree plantation campaign.
It is now cheaper to build offshore wind farms.
To develop a climate-altering
By
bomb.
continually reinvesting in our grasslands, we are looking down
A critical moment that we cannot not be part of.
enormous opportunity in agriculture.
We can become stubborn optimists.
26 is one of the most important diplomatic gatherings in
But humanity already knows what to do.
Do it overnight, but we can set that end date.
We've got a long way to go.
But there is momentum.
Roll up your sleeves and do it.
Now let me show you some other events taking place. I'll start off with April the 28th of this year, 2022. Strange weather, massive storms, much damage in many places around the world, exactly as Jesus warned.
April snowfall covered some areas of Beijing. Recently, under the influence of cold air, the temperature in Beijing has dropped dramatically. It has rained in the city, and snow has fallen in Lingshan and other places in the west of Beijing. And quite a lot of it fell, in some areas more than 20 centimeters. Literally a few years ago in Beijing, the temperature was already 27 degrees Celsius. Many local residents were surprised by this snowfall. Social networks are full of photos and videos of these events, but not everyone was happy with such weather conditions. Many roads were blocked for traffic. Traffic jams formed. According to weather forecasts, it will rain again in the evening in Beijing, and from Friday the temperature will slowly rise. Uruguay was covered by a hurricane wind that covered several municipalities at once. Forecasters issued an orange warning of strong winds yesterday. The municipality of Rincón de los Sauces was one of the victims of the storm. Videos posted by local residents on the internet show the fury of a strong wind. One of the videos is especially shocking, as its author managed to accurately capture the moment when the wind destroyed the roof of the barn like a toy. The element was rampant in the capital of Uruguay, bringing chaos on the streets there too. At the airport, a ban was temporarily imposed on the departure and landing of aircraft. The wind practically did not allow it to be done. Traffic was severely hampered by fallen trees and downed power lines. Authorities said 4 people received moderate injuries. A similar situation was observed in Argentina. On the night of April 28, a hurricane-force wind hit the capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires, which in gusts reached 33 meters per second. The storm that hit the city left behind fallen trees and power lines, damaged cars, and roofs torn off houses. Not only that, heavy rainfall occurred in some areas. During the violence of the elements, 70 millimeters fell. Conducting a damage assessment in the city today, authorities said the hurricane-force winds knocked down 122 trees, some of which fell on both cars and houses, damaging them. 20 roofs were torn off the houses of local residents. Many streets remain blocked to traffic. The authorities carried out the evacuation of 25 residents who were currently without their homes. Severe flooding, which was caused by the river Zari, affected thousands of people in the settlements of the state of Amapá in northern Brazil. The water level in the Zari River has risen after heavy rains that have taken place in the region over the past few weeks. Amapá state authorities reported that the water level in the river reached 3 meters, which is the highest level for the entire year. According to officials, localities in the municipalities of Laranjal do Jari and Vitória do Jari have been suffering from flooding since mid-April. As of today, the media is reporting 16,000 casualties in Laranjal do Jari and 8,000 in Vitória do Jari. More than 220 families have been forced to leave their homes, according to the federal government. The strongest sandstorm hit Saudi Arabia once again this month. Giant clouds of sand and dust covered the sky. Visibility dropped to tens of meters. The bulk of this storm hit the city of Hale in northern Saudi Arabia. The authorities have advised citizens to avoid open places and also walk on the streets due to bad weather in the next few days. This is especially true for those who suffer from respiratory diseases. And if there is such a need to go out, you should protect yourself with masks and respirators. In places, poor visibility greatly complicated the movement of vehicles along the streets of the city. The dust density was such that for 2 hours it became almost dark in the city. The situation for the next 2 days is not particularly improving. A strong wind is blowing, gusts of which reach 25 meters per second. Residents of the city of Mikitara in the state of Western Australia in Australia became eyewitnesses of a rare dust devil for this area, which occurred around noon. Interestingly, this tornado was not preceded by a storm, and there were no warnings about a tornado. Eyewitnesses of the incident say that they noticed the approach of a funnel of dust, which later grew to such a tornado. There were no consequences from its passage. It was located far from the houses of local residents. On the eve of Bashkiria, a strong wind blew up, which managed to damage the infrastructure. A stormy wind tore off the roof from the ocean pool in the village of Barayevo. The total roof area of the building is 1,200 square meters. Fortunately, there were no people in the pool at the time of the incident. There were no injured or dead. In some areas, the wind, gusts of which amounted to 28 meters per second, also managed to cause trouble, knocking down trees and tearing the cladding from buildings. A storm cyclone hit Sakhalin. This cyclone came from the northeastern regions of China, passed through Primorye, where it was marked by rains, in some places by strong gusty winds. Stormy weather has been in the Sakhalin region for the second day already. In the northern and central regions of Sakhalin, heavy snowfalls and blizzards, wind gusts reach hurricane force of 35 meters per second. The temperature at night is down to -5. In the daytime it is +8 degrees, ice phenomena are possible. There is practically zero visibility on roads and in settlements. The wind of such force blows away cars. In some villages, people have to dig out meter-long snowdrifts. Residents of 11 districts of the Sakhalin region felt the impact of the disaster. Heavy snowstorm, gale-force winds and, as a result, swept yards, poor visibility and ice on the roads. A huge amount of kaplan, or, as the locals also call it, uyak, washed up on the shore of Sakhalin. Another big wave of kaplan approached the southwestern coast of Sakhalin. Recall that local residents are allowed to fish without restrictions. However, only a hand net can be used for this. Earlier, local residents in the Tomarinsky district found a heap of kaplan on the shore, which was allegedly caught by poachers. According to eyewitnesses, when fish protection officers appeared, the poachers fled in all directions. The ownerless fish began to rot, attracting birds with its smell during the evening. People came to the beach who collected uyak for their animals and as fertilizer for the garden. The sea now and then throws a huge amount of fish onto the coastline, literally filling the sand with it. A few days ago, a strong tornado hit Hungary. Footage of these terrible events appeared on social networks. This event took place during the day near the Hungarian city of Miskolc. Houses in the village of Onod suffered from the violence of the elements. The first videos were received from this area, which recorded damage to the roofs of houses and uprooted trees. According to the latest expert analysis, there was no tornado in the area, but a phenomenon called gustnado. This is a whirlwind that occurs on the front lines and can also cause damage, but is not associated with storm cells. Gustnado uses vertical vorticity, which is created by horizontal wind shear along the front. Today I first encountered such a weather phenomenon. It turns out that it happens. Massive wildfires continue to rage across the southwestern United States. Severe wildfires in the southwestern United States have destroyed or damaged many homes, forcing thousands of people to evacuate. Strong wind speeds up to 35 meters per second contributed to the rapid spread of fire. More than 200 houses have burned down in the last 24 hours. Residents of several small settlements were forced to flee. One of the fires in the north of the state, near the city of Taos, was recognized as the largest fire in the United States this year. Wildfires in New Mexico are raising fears that the region is heading for a fire-violent year due to years of drought combined with abundant dry vegetation, as well as strong winds. A powerful dust storm covered the Mexican city of La Laguna, which is located in the state of Coahuila. This is the second dust storm since the beginning of this year that rages in this region. The first one was noted at the beginning of February. A huge cloud of sand and dust reached and covered Mexico in a matter of minutes. Literally in 5 minutes, visibility in the region reached no more than 40 meters, and in some places even less. Video with this natural phenomenon was shown by eyewitnesses in social networks. At the time of the passage of the storm, the temperature dropped to +8. Usually the minimum temperature here is 19 degrees with a plus sign. Maximum wind gusts reached 30 meters per second. The country's authorities have advised citizens not to leave their homes unless absolutely necessary, and also to refrain from traveling in private vehicles. A hailstorm hit the city of Zacatecas, which is located in the Mexican state of the same name. It was accompanied by heavy rain. Such weather conditions provoked local floods. In some areas the height of the flood reached 60 centimeters. The hail reached a size of 2 centimeters in diameter. During the rampage of the elements, it fell pretty decently. In some places snowdrifts from ice flows reached 25 centimeters. The roofs of the houses of local residents could not withstand such a quantity of hail. A similar situation was observed in the other municipality of the Rio Grande. A heavy downpour with hail caused traffic problems. All the available forces of public utilities were thrown into clearing the streets.
Jesus in the book of Revelation warns about hailstones that will weigh 100 pounds. As we move through these birth pangs closer to the Lord Jesus Christ, the events that we're witnessing right now, they're going to be a lot worse.
In total, the hailstorm damaged more than 20 houses, as well as several cars. Just a couple of hours of intense rain in the capital of Venezuela, Caracas, is enough to form such severe floods. A flood occurred in the San Jose de Cotas sector, affecting most of the inhabitants of the area. Many houses literally appeared underwater. Entire areas were flooded. The height of the water level exceeded 1.5 meters. This month, this is the second major flood in the capital. At least 800 families have suffered losses. Many people had to be evacuated, and no information has yet been received about the victims. Cars are half submerged underwater. Local residents hardly move along the streets. Heavy rains continue in Venezuela for more than 2 weeks. Sudden forest and grass fires broke out near the village of Purbright, Surrey, United Kingdom. According to the media, in total they covered an area equal to 15 hectares. 2 major fires were recorded in this area in Ash Ranges and Dolly's Hill Park. More than 40 firefighters and 2 helicopters are involved in extinguishing these large fires. As of today, it is known that they are localized by 70%. At the moment, it is still unclear what caused the fire. It is known that the first mention of the occurrence of these fires appeared on April 25. Authorities have warned local residents of deteriorating air quality in the area. On the night of Wednesday, April 27, the city of Casepa, which is located south in the Department of Florida, was hit by hail. In some areas, rather large hail was noted. The size of some specimens reached 5 centimeters in diameter. Lately, One can notice that in many countries hail has fallen, the size of which reaches 5 or 6 centimeters in diameter. Many local residents who witnessed these events shared video footage on social media. According to their reports, the elements raged for about 30 minutes. On Tuesday, Paraguay's National Institute of Meteorology warned of intense rain in short periods, occasional hail, and strong gusts of wind across much of the country. Media informed that the mudflow caused damage to 48 hectares of agricultural land, flooded the basements of 15 houses of residents of the village of Zavron and 7 houses of the village of Navbanyad. Fortunately, there were no casualties among the population. Livestock was also not injured. At the forest fires broke out in India. In the forests of the Indian state of Uttarakhand, 125 new fires have been registered over the past day. The Department of Forestry of Uttarakhand turned to other districts for help, as they cannot cope with extinguishing these fires on their own. These forest fires have already destroyed 250 hectares of vegetation. They are growing at an alarming rate. Extinguishing is greatly complicated by the heat that has been established in the region since last week, as well. The most powerful storm since the beginning of this year hit the Indian state of Kerala. It was accompanied by heavy rain, powerful sustained winds with gusts up to 28 meters per second. Forecasters have warned of potential severe damage from strong winds, heavy rains and flooding in low-lying areas. Authorities issued a weather warning and also asked local residents to be careful when walking outdoors, away from advertising and rickety structures.
The events that you watch today are just tip of the iceberg of what's going on globally, how our weather patterns are definitely changing. And I don't get into the argument of what is causing it. Many say that it's global warming, it's caused by man. Whatever is causing it, whatever circumstances behind it are causing the things that we're seeing, these disasters continually getting worse each year. They are identical to the warnings that Jesus Christ said would take place in the last days. So it doesn't matter if man's causing it or it's a natural occurrence. The fact of the matter is, and the bottom line, it's happening. Now, if you would like to go over to my website, as you see right there, I post as much as I can, connecting the dots between Bible prophecy and current events in hopes that you will get ready to meet Jesus Christ when he calls the church home, whenever that is. But we do know that that event is coming sooner than most people think. Now, also in closing, today I put up a post, and that post had to do just with one prophecy sign, and that had to do with Hosea chapter 4, 1 through 3, where the Lord reveals to us in the last days, and there's without a question that's where we're at right now, you would witness mass die-offs of birds, fish, and animals. In my book, I keep you updated on these events, and today I list the brand new reports that just surfaced, and there's quite a few of them, as you'll see, beginning with this report that just came out. And it has to do with experts warned residents with backyard chickens as a new bird flu hits Texas. And as you can see, when you scroll down, they're in many different places around the world: Australia, America, the Caribbean, Canada, Malaysia, France, Turkey, India, Brazil. Just go down there, New Zealand, and you'll see all of these events. Now, there are literally thousands of these events that I've recorded over the years that are listed in my book, again, that you can get for free by going over to my website and clicking this link. Here's the bottom line. I'm doing everything I can to lead the people to Christ before all hell breaks out on earth. It will happen. There's a push right now for the world leaders to come together and come together globally to try to stop this global warming. Is it a possibility that we'll see a one world government emerge from this kind of attitude where they want to control what every nation does because of the global warming issue, only God knows. But one thing's for sure, a man is coming who will control everything on this planet, as it is recorded in Revelation chapter 13, where the Lord reveals to us that a man will be controlling what you buy or sell, and unless you have his mark, and this would be the mark of the Antichrist, that would be placed either in your hand or in your forehead, you wouldn't be able to buy or sell anything. I cover all of this material in my book. You can have it for free today. Please subscribe to my channel and come with me as we watch the soon coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you, and God bless.